Welcome to Scotland and to beautiful Glasgow. This vibrant and cosmopolitan city welcomes the Commonwealth Games next year. One of 14 Commonwealth venues, the Emirates Arena, which is attached to Sir Chris Hoy's velodrome, played host to the 2013 European Judo Open on the weekend of October the 19th and 20th. This year it's the men's turn. Judo fans had come to meet their heroes, have fun and see what was on offer in the Judo Village. The Commonwealth in 2014 is followed by the 2015 European Judo Championships. Glasgow pulled out all the stops, with opportunities for young judoka to learn from British judo icons such as Colin Oates. Although unable to compete, Ashley Mackenzie, the winner of this event in 2011, was here to support his teammates. GB's Olympic silver medalist Gemma Gibbons was in Glasgow for her fans and for her husband, Ewan Burton. Burton had decided to compete at under 100 kilograms, almost 20 kilograms heavier than his Olympic weight. How would he get on against the bigger men?
At first, when he told me that he was thinking about it, I did start to have a little panic attack and thought if he breaks something, it's going to be me that has to look after him.
Find out who was receiving the praise from men's head coach Chris Bowles.
The guy's just a total professional.
Who of the GB men would medal? How would Austria's Olympic silver medalist Pesha fare? And witness an incredible fight in the heavyweights. The opening ceremony featured a great performance from Saltire Beats. And the competition was declared officially open by Michael Vachon, Vice President of the European Judo Union. We start with the under 66 kilograms and with Colin Oates, who placed 7th at the 2012 Olympic Games. Oates has several recent international medals to his name, but would only be happy with gold in Glasgow. Could he get GB off to the best possible start? So Oates got the sleeve, and he's got round the outside of the arm. He's going to look for the Uchimata. Ashiwaza first, but looking for the line, that's for sure. Colin Oates. Left against right situation here. Ward of Canada has to grip up, otherwise chances of a penalty. Now he's got the grip again. Colin Oates looking for the line again. Oh, beautiful Uchimata. That's what he was looking for all along. Oates attacked with the Ashiwaza, and Ward stepped back and then straight in for the Uchimata. Beautiful. Left against right again, but we know Casas Roca can go both sides. He can attack the other side as well. Oates now got the arm over the top. That's what he's looking for. Again the line. Ashiwaza this time! Beautiful Ashiwaza. Jiashi, Kuriashi, and he just drives him onto his back for the Ippon. Great opportune judo from Oates. So just coming up to the 2-minute mark. Shido each, they both got a penalty. There's the big arm over the top again from Oates. Looking for the sleeve. Kochi, Sumigaeshi, great combinations from Oates. Got to get out of there. Certainly Van Gansby can't wait for the Newaza. You can never wait for groundwork. Colin Oates wrapping the arm up. And he's looking for the Sangaku. Triangular strangle on the ground. Then he'll look for the hold down. He's going to wrap the arm up first. This is great progressional groundwork from Colin Oates. Now he's going to tie up the head, and then he'll get that leg out. Look at the other leg coming up. He's got to get that foot out for the seconds to start counting. Offside Komi! And the fact that it's on the edge of the area doesn't matter. Van Gansby now has got to bridge. He's got to break it. Seconds are ticking away. You can see them flashing up on the board there. And it's Ippon to Colin Oates. Third Ippon to Colin Oates, and he is on fire. And that puts him into the final. Van Gansby bounced back after his defeat to Oates, throwing Israel's flicker with Tanio Toshi, scoring a Yuko in the bronze medal contest. The technique ended up being the decisive score for the Belgian. With 4 seconds to go, Flicker piled forward, but Van Gansby held him off and secured a bronze medal. In the other bronze medal contest, Poland's Zagrodnik produced one of the throws of the tournament against Spain's Casas Roca. After a failed drop right Sianagi attempt, Zagrodnik maintained his grip before spinning with an incredible left-handed reverse Sianagi. It smashed the Spaniard onto his back and scored the maximum Ippon. A stunning technique and a well-deserved bronze medal for Zagrodnik. Lefebvre coming out, and he's a left-handed fighter as well, so it's going to be left against left in this final. Colin Oates, though, looking very determined. Colin Oates has been on fire all day. Lefebvre has great ashiwaza as well, but Colin Oates is a tactician. He knows how to play the game, and that is very important. Very professional in his development and his outlook to the contest. And he's looking for the sleeve, and now look at the ashiwaza! That looks dangerous, that ashiwaza. Left against left, that's why it works. Lefebvre has got to be very careful of that. You can see that double stab at the ankle there. He uses that double stab to set up the Uchimata, but it's an effective major technique as well. Lefebvre looking for that arm over the top. And he's got the Ouchi there, Lefebvre. He hooks in and drives off the back leg, Lefebvre. And you can see there Mackenzie shouting for his teammate. Colin Oates looking for the opportunity. Wants that big arm over, sometimes around the back, sometimes over the top. Doesn't matter. Then he looks for the ashiwaza, and Lefebvre nearly made a mistake there. Landed on his backside, it wasn't a score. He went in with the Ouchigari, and he gets, well, rotated onto his backside by Colin Oates, and Colin Oates almost scored. Colin Oates just on top, I think. He's the one, and it's a penalty there to Lefebvre. He's got a penalty on the board. 1 minute 34 left of this final. Still no major score. Still looking for the big one. Yes! There it is! Colin Oates, double scab ashiwaza. And he threatened with it earlier. This time, he takes Lefebvre cleanly onto his back for the Ippon. And that is what our game is all about. Scoring the Ippon. It was a beautiful setup. Clicked onto that outside foot. And the double stab gets the elevation. He controls the upper part of the body. Lefebvre landed on his back. All credit to Colin Oates. A big smile in front of his home crowd. he is the gold medalist.
It's nice to come away with a gold medal, 4 fights. I think I won 4 ippons as well. So yeah, overall it's a great day. I needed something like that because I've gone to a few tournaments, took medals and final placings, but winning the tournament's something different, you know, it's a mentality thing. So to actually go and get the medal and win the tournament, it's a really important step again. I'm in good form, yeah, so that, you know, that's definitely really important. If I can keep maintaining that and just keep going, you know, I didn't taper off as much for this tournament because the ranking points ain't as high, but I still needed to put in a performance because it's on home turf, so it was really important. I really need a world medal to my collection. That's my real one target. I have a European medal, I have a Grand Slam, a Grand Prix, so that's my one target right now. And since the games is such a long way off, it's got to be the main focus. So that's the 12 months. But I say the same to when I talk to my girlfriend about developing. As long as I keep getting better and I keep improving in the 12 months, I'm happy. Because that's all you can ask of yourself. If you start saying, oh, I've got to get this or I've got to get that, and you pin too much on different things, it's not good for your development. The more you just say, look, be a better player each day, and it's a corny little line, you know, but at the same time, if you're a better player each day, you can be happy.
The guy's just a total professional. I admire his judo, I admire what he makes of his judo, how he conducts himself, everyday life. Colin Oates is just the real deal. For me, his level of professionalism is outstanding.
Join us in part 2 for some lightning fast and powerful judo, and see how Goszewski and Sherrington get on for Team GB. In the lightest weight category of under 60 kilograms, there was a world-class fighter in action, in the shape of former Olympic and world silver medalist Peisha. He came through his early round contest in typical gritty fashion, using his trademark sacrifice throw Sumagaeshi to good effect to make it through to the final. There he would be up against Poland's Kilbasinski. Would it be Glasgow gold for Peisha? Peisha in white, very, very experienced Peisha. And he has a lot of sacrifice techniques. It means he sacrifices his own weight, goes onto his back a lot. Now he's got his grip. There's the Sumagaeshi! Oh, and he lands, and it's a Wazari scored. Wazari to Peisha, and he hit with the foot sweep to the front. First of all, they changed it to ippon. They've given the ippon, and for me, that landed more on its side. He did bridge, and they say if you bridge, then it's still an ippon, but he seemed to bridge more on his side than on his back, but they've given it nonetheless to the very experienced Ludwig Peisha of Austria, and he wins the under 60 kilos gold medal. The first 60 kilogram bronze was won by Frenchman Mohammadi. His contest against Slovenian Trebovic came down to sudden death. But it was Mohammadi who got the decisive Yuko score to take the win. The podium was completed by Hungary's Bergen, who like Peisha used Sumagaeshi, scoring Yuko to edge past Belgian's Senna wins. From the lightest weight to the heaviest, where GB hopes were high as fan favourite Chris Sherrington had made it to the bronze medal contest. There he was up against Pinta of the Czech Republic, but to the dismay of the home crowd, Sherrington got caught. A takedown from the Czech forced the Brit to his knees, before Pinta continued the movement to force him over onto his back. Things went from bad to worse for Sherrington, as he was then caught in an arm lock, meaning he had to submit and concede the bronze to Pinta. The other bronze was taken by Austria's Allersdorfer at the expense of France's Rabin. As the two locked up, Rabin attacked with a foot sweep. But Alistair was waiting, countering with a foot sweep of his own to send the Frenchman crashing to his back for the full ippon and the bronze medal. The final was contested between the day's two biggest throwers. In white was Belgium's Harmonies. In blue was Natia of Romania, who had flattened Rabat on his route to the final. Unfortunately, the final itself was a non-event. Natia lacked the fitness to keep pushing forwards and instead set up with a defensive posture in an attempt not to be thrown. But the rules of judo do not allow this, and Natia was quickly penalised up to 3 shidos, or yellow cards. Finally, a 4th shido meant Natia was given a red card and disqualified from the bout. This meant that it would be Harmonies who took the gold medal back to Belgium, as he topped a thoroughly international podium in Glasgow. At under 81 kilograms, there was another top-class European fighter in action. Ungvari of Hungary is a seasoned competitor on the international scene, with a host of medals to his name. Usually an under 73 kilogram fighter, the Hungarian was looking to try his hand in the heavier category in Glasgow. And the extra weight didn't seem to be helping his opponents, who all fell prey to Ungvari's lethal groundwork abilities. First up, he dismantled Leroy of France. Securing the Frenchman in a triangle or sangaku jimmy, he rolled him onto his back to secure the hold, but also kept squeezing to ensure he got the submission. Next up was Brit Tom Reed. After being taken down to the ground, Reed relaxed for a split second. It was just long enough to allow Ungvari to snake his legs in for sangaku jimmy. From then on in, it was all downhill for Reed, as he was unable to prevent the Hungarian from securing him in a pin to score ippon. 2 ippons in 2 fights with the same technique. Ungvari was on a roll. As he came out to fight the final, the Glasgow crowd were expecting fireworks. But unfortunately, his opponent had been injured in his semi-final, meaning Ungvari was awarded the gold by default. An anti-climax, but nevertheless a well-deserved gold for Ungvari. The first under 81 kilogram bronze was contested between Carollo of Italy and Pavlinic of New Zealand. A big pick-up from Carollo scored a Wazzari, but the Italian wasn't done there. He quickly locked onto a strangle, catching his dazed opponent unaware to earn a quick submission and the bronze medal. The other bronze was contested between Shen of Israel and Kashara of Austria, and it was settled in emphatic fashion. A lightning-fast foot sweep from Kashara landed Shen flat on his back. Ippon and bronze medal for Kashara. Once again, it was a podium lacking a British fighter. But next up at under 73 kilograms, things looked to be on the up for GB, as Gojewski found himself fighting for bronze. His first contest was against Frenchman Shane, and it was a counter-attack that settled it, with Gojewski effectively throwing himself in order to over-rotate Shane onto his back for a Wazzari. Next up for Gojewski was Zakheim of Israel, and this time it was on the ground that he gained the advantage. Hooking his legs in, he was able to secure a sangaku jimmy, which he used to turn Zakheim onto his back before squeezing to apply a strangulation and get the submission. Gojewski was looking good. As he stepped out for his semi-final encounter against Italy's Madiloni, hopes were high for another British gold. But it just wasn't to be. Madiloni is a class act, and as Gojewski pushed forwards, the Italian struck, throwing the Brit for a clean ippon. Gojewski would have to resign himself to fighting for bronze. The final was an all-Italian affair, with Madiloni dominating a scrappy match against his teammate Regis, who was eventually disqualified for passivity, giving Maddaloni the win and the gold medal. In the bronze medal contest between Zakheim and Germany's Katsumi, there was more excitement as the Israeli threw with a big Uchimata for him. But for the crowd, it was all about the other bronze medal contest, where Gajewski would be taking on Rybin of Russia. Could he get Team GB back on track? Gajewski in blue. He put GB back on track. Rybin, a big throw up, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Gajewski needs the sleeve. Both of them got dropped Sienagis. What are the problems when you're running onto your opponent? Oh, and that's the problem! Rybin disappeared right away underneath, dropped Sienagi, and it's all over before it even began. Gajewski made the mistake of going forwards. He let him underneath, and Rybin of Russia wins the bronze medal. Great Britain have still got work to do.
It's a mix of emotions. It's a bit of a sour ending to a really good day. I felt I put in some really good fights, and kind of after narrowly missing out on the final, I really wanted to, get that medal. But I think I just wanted it too much, and just kind of made a rookie mistake. Walked onto my opponent and got caught, which is, the beauty of our sport, and that a split second of lapse of concentration and can cost you the match. So yeah, I am sad. I really wanted that medal, but there's a lot of positives to take away from it as well. So I'm going to try and focus on those.
Join us in part 3 to see if Team GB can turn it around, and to witness an incredible under 90 kilogram final. At under 90 kilograms, the Brits were back in the medal hunt. Matthew Percy, Michael Hawley, and Theo Spalding McIntosh were all in action. Percy and McIntosh went toe-to-toe in the eliminations. Percy scored Wazari, and having control of the upper body, he freed his foot to initiate the hold down. As the time ticked away, Percy knew he'd made the semi-finals. There, he would face the powerful young Italian, Leporcio. Leporcio was too strong. Shido to Percy. A second penalty was quickly followed by a third. And when Percy put in a weak attack, Leporcio knew the match was his. Disqualification for the Brit. He would have to battle it out for bronze. Hawley was also in with a chance of a medal after dispatching fellow Brit Chamberlain on his way to a bronze medal contest. And McIntosh bounced back from his defeat to Percy, throwing his Australian opponent with Sumagaeshi before securing the hold to make it 3 Brits in the bronze medal matches. In the final, Leporcio took on Sasson of Israel. As well as beating Percy, Leporcio had produced this sublime Uchimata in the early rounds and was looking good. But Sasson had looked in a league of his own all day. One huge hip throw was followed by a stunning Uchimata of his own. What a matchup this was going to be. Well, I'm really looking forward to this one. Sasson in blue, Leporcio of Italy in white. Two massive throwers, and I can tell you now that one of these is going to go. Something's going to happen. Oh, and it's in! The Portio goes over straight away. Sodi Surikamigoshi Yuko just drops straight underneath him. The crowd love it. That's what it's all about. Good technique. We've got to get them on their back. Oh, look at this one. Oh, and he gets taken over. That's a Wazari scored for the Portio. Sasson is going to have to come from behind. Two big throwers, and we knew that it had the potential, and he tried for, well, it's a kind of an Uranagi from the front, and it came unstuck. Now they've got the grip. One of them, again, it's potentially dangerous. That's going to be a score there for Sasson. He gets the Wazari back, and now he's in danger of being held down. Laportio trying to get the leg out. Can he tie it up? And Sasson, well, a massive throw. He landed in the wrong position and now in danger on the ground. So Mate called. There was the counter there. Uchimata from Laportio, but countered by Sasson. These two really going for it. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, halfway through the contest. I can't see it lasting. Wazari each on the board, Wazari and a Yuko to Sasson. And they're still looking for it. Uchimata, is it going to be a counter? Almost countered him, and Sasson just turns it. Now can he attack on the ground? Laportio holding on. So a good all-round judo contest this. It's going from standing down to ground, and there's some massive throws. Both the fighters going for it. Both looking for the big one. And a big Uchimata there from Sasson. And they can hardly breathe, these two. They're going for it so much. Great attacking judo. And this is what we want to see. Full commitment from Sasson. Just manages to get off it, Laportio. Laportio now looking for the sleeve. He wants the arm over the top. Sasson, he wants the sleeve. It's right against left situation. Sasson. Oh, there's the Uchimata again. Well, it's Uchimata Uranagi, that's what I call it. It's a mixture of the two. And this time, he takes Laportio right way over the top for the Ippon. That was an amazing match. They were both going for it. There were two Wazaris, a Yuko and an Ippon in the whole match. And it was brilliant entertainment. The crowd loved it. I loved it. Great to commentate on and great to see. So Sasson of Israel wins the gold medal with some amazing judo. Great variation. It started with the Sodi Surikamigoshi. There were counters, there were major techniques, and in the end, it was a major forward technique that won Sasson the Ippon. It was terrific stuff. He leads with the leg. It's the vogue technique at the moment with all of the players. He starts off with an Uchimata kind of an entry, but it's Uranagi as well. It's a mixture of the two. He gets lift, he rotates. His arm doesn't have to be on the lapel. It can be round the back or over the back. And the lift that he gets and the drive off the back leg is what rotates them onto their back. In the first bronze medal contest, McIntosh battled past Australian Olympian Anthony. This dropping shoulder throw scoring Yuko was the decisive moment in the match and was enough to give the young Brit victory and a spot on the podium.
It's always good to win, and it's even nicer to win your home tournament. I think having the support behind you and being on home soil, it's really, really, really good. A massive experience to be able to produce for your coaches, like the crowd and everyone around that's made the effort to come out and see you. So it's a good feeling.
In the second bronze contest, Hawley took on Percy in an all-British affair. Hawley in white, Percy in blue. Domestic, we've got to sort out who's going to go abroad. Some of the future international contests. Hawley out to prove himself. Good attack there from Hawley. Good Seanagi Taitoshi attempt from him. Potentially they could be fighting in the Commonwealth Games. Hawley for England and Percy for Scotland. Nice Uchimata there from Percy. You can tell they train together a lot. Yep. They both know each other very well. So there's the Uchimata from Percy. Yep. Couldn't quite hop the support leg deep enough. Needs more control of the upper body as well. Now he's got the sleeve, Percy. And he's got the lapel hand as well. Now he's trying for a Makikomi. And is he going to score? Almost. Harai Makikomi. Hawley just holds off. Doesn't go onto his back or onto his side. No score. So a hard match between these two. We expected it to be hard. Both of them trying to control their head. They've got to get their head up. He's pulling their head down. And Percy now. Harai Makikomi. He gets the Wazari. And he threatened it the first time. This time he scores and Hawley couldn't stop it. So he wraps the arm up. He hooks around the outside of the leg and he drives Hawley over. Look at that, pushing off the back leg there. And he has enough control of the sleeve to maintain the turn. Good score. Hawley now coming back. 8 seconds left on the clock. Now he's trying to waste a little bit of time, valuable time down in ground. Percy holds off. He gets the second bronze medal. A good result for Matthew Percy. And Hawley, well, it was a good effort from him and good for GB. So 2 bronzes for GB in the under 90 kilograms category, and they are back on track.
I love it. It makes me grow as a fighter. I get so excited when I know there's a British event, if it's the British Open or it's the domestic World Cup or European Open. It's always a great opportunity, and the atmosphere was awesome. The support, the way the crowd got behind you, you couldn't ask for more. The kids are really great as well. They're all asking for your autograph. You actually feel like a little bit of a celebrity, a bit of a superstar. So it's a nice feeling.
Join us in part 4 to see if Ewan Burton can beat the heavyweight men.
He's a little bit heavier than he used to be when he fought 81s, but he's still only about 90 kilos, so he's going to be giving away quite a bit of weight to the other guys, but I'm sure he can do well.
Don't go away. Our final feature from Glasgow is the under 100 kilos category, which saw the surprise entry of one of Great Britain's top fighters of the past decade. 2 weights down at under 81 kilograms, Scotland's own Ewan Burton was a force to be reckoned with, collecting medals all over the world. Now heavily involved in coaching, Burton still has one eye on the upcoming Commonwealth Games. With 81 kilograms out of the question, and with his own athletes vying for selection at under 90 kilograms, Burton has no option but to try his hand at under 100 kilograms, where he would be giving up close to 15 kilograms to his opponents. How would he get on? Well, I have no doubt that Ewan Burton has the class to do this, even at the higher weight category. So he will look to dominate right from the start. Got a very inexperienced Jacobs of the USA. Looks a bit nervous to me. And Ewan Burton, you can tell straight away the posturing. He's dominating the grip straight away. There's the Uchimata. It was very, very easy work for Ewan Burton. Uchimata against Jacobs of the USA. He dominated the grip, and then he spun through with a clean Uchimata and took him right the way over onto his back. This is a bit more of a challenge for Ewan Burton, from Rijeka of Portugal, a medalist in the Rijeka Grand Prix earlier this year, but at under 100 kilograms, so he's fighting a big man and an explosive one. He's got to be careful here. Oh, look at that. Now then, you can see how dangerous he looks. He's got to stay there. It was well switched from Burton, and he just switched it. It wasn't a score, but Fonseca almost made a big mistake. He was looking for the big ippon, and look at that. The Brits look on. They're shouting for Ewan Burton. Ewan Burton doing very well against this very strong Portuguese fighter. And he's explosive. Now what's going to happen? Oh, that's what's going to happen. Harai Makakomi and Fonseca, he resisted to the first stab, and Ewan Burton celebrates. He says to the crowd, what do you think about that? Harai Makakomi, the second stab did it. And he goes off the reaction. Action-reaction is what it's all about, this. Hooks in, ties up the top arm, and then he goes twice. Gets the reaction, gets the ippon, and he's through to the next round. Ewan Burton celebrates. Well, Ewan Burton really having a problem with this Australian. Skirman's very physically strong, and he's looking for the same kind of things, and now Ewan Burton trying to pick up. Can he counter him? It's got to be a score. Yes, it is. And in the dying seconds of this contest, he turns into the outside Komi. Skirmans hasn't got anything left. He attempted a Harai Makakomi, the same technique as Ewan Burton. Ewan Burton had the upper part of the body under control, and he is through to the final. Another ippon for Ewan Burton, and a brilliant performance from him. He had to dig in, but now he gets the crowd behind him and he says, I'm going to win the final. On the opposite side of the draw, there was another Brit in action. Could Ben Fletcher make it to the final? Well, Fletcher fighting hard here. Adizio, well, he's looking for the sleeve as well. They're both searching for that sleeve. Now they've got it. Now what's going to happen? One of them's going to attack. Fletcher it is. Sumigaeshi! And he scores a Yuko. Nice score from him. He changed direction and he took him over onto his side. And this, well, that's going to be enough to take him through to the semi-final. Fletcher in this semi-final against De Guida. Again, dominating the sleeve. That's what he wants. He wants to dominate the back and the sleeve. Is he going to counter him? Yes, he does! Wazzari scored! And Fletcher takes De Guido of Italy onto his back. It was a roll, so it only warranted a Wazzari, not an ippon. You've got to throw them directly onto the shoulders for the ippon, but he gets a really well-deserved and timed Wazzari. Chris Bowles shouting instructions there, the head coach of GB men. Can we have two GB fighters in the final of this minus 100s? Is he going to do it again? Yes, he does! Ben Fletcher does it again. Wazzari and Wazzetti ippon, and he's through to the final. Great performance from Ben Fletcher. How pleased does he look? And that was a great counter-attack. Uchimata failed Uchimata from De Guido, and he just, well, he pulls on that sleeve, he rotates and drives off the back leg, and he took De Guido over for his second Wazzari, and that puts him through to the final with Ewan Burton. And whatever happens, it's going to be a GB 1 and 2. De Guido went on to compete for bronze against one of Burton's earlier victims, Fonseca of Portugal. Fonseca was dominant throughout. A Wazzari and a Yuko to the Portuguese meant it would be him that triumphed in Glasgow. De Guida's teammate Ardizio had better luck as he powered past Sherman's in the other bronze medal contest to complete the podium. But would it be Burton or Fletcher occupying the top spot? So Ewan Burton has been on absolutely amazing form all day. He had a tough semi-final. Australian fought him very, very well, but that's what he's here for. Build up his confidence, and his wife, Gemma Gibbons, the Olympic silver medalist, watching on. Obviously, hoping that he can handle these big men, and he can. He has the class to do it. He knows how to play the game as well, but Ben Fletcher now, he's fighting for pride as well. Ben Fletcher. Ben Fletcher has Burton's sleeve. He's going to want to snap that off because he wants that free hand. He wants that right hand free. Fletcher knows it. They train together. So Ewan Burton doing well against the heavier men. Wants the arm over the top. He's got the arm over the top now. And he can't stay there, Fletcher. He can feel it straight away. And now Burton's tied the arm off. And he tried with the Harai Makikomi again. Fletcher just pulled the arm out. Just escaped. Got to be careful of that, though. Burton goes onto the lapel first, then throws the arm. Ben Fletcher, he wants the sleeve, then the lapel. Right against right. The British crowd loving this, an all-British final. This, our last final of this competition. Now then, he's going for the shimiwaza. Ewan Burton has got a good strangle from there. He's got it tied off. Ben Fletcher has to submit. And it's Ippon to Ewan Burton. He scores Ippon, and the crowd love it. That was a fine performance from Ewan Burton. Gemma looks on. She's proud of her husband. Of course she is. That was a nice bit of transition there from Ewan Burton. We do so much of this now in the squad trainings, and he tied off the top half there. He did the turn, the double lapel turn with the shimiwaza on, and Fletcher couldn't do anything to stop it. Ewan Burton wins the gold medal, thumbs up to the crowd, and they love it. A true gentleman, Ewan Burton, and he does it in style. So he celebrates, he salutes the crowd, and his wife, Gemma Gibbons, presents his medal. What a great couple these two make. They are role models for all youngsters that do judo in Great Britain. And this was a great result for British judo.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it's great to fight in front of a home crowd. It's great to fight in front of such a vocal home crowd, and the Glasgow support and the support from Scotland and across Great Britain, because a lot of guys have travelled up the road here, and you know, it's not often we get to hold big events in Scotland, and I think it's been proven today by British Judo, by the EJU, by Glasgow Life that Scotland can hold events, get people to the events, and put on a spectacular show for people. So that was fantastic. I weighed 91.1 last night in the weigh-in, and that's in the evening at 7 o'clock at night, so that's after a full day of eating and drinking. So yeah, by the time the 100 kilo guys have dieted down to the weight, and then it gets to the next day when they fight, they're probably about 105. So I'm giving away not far off 15 kilos probably, which is not an insignificant amount of weight, should we say. But hopefully I'm using my experience, my grey hair, anything that I've got, anything that I've got at my disposal to try and edge past them in the fights. I suppose this kind of starts to make me cement in my head that I could possibly fight at the Commonwealth Games at 100 kilos. I said after London I wouldn't fight 81 kilos again, and it would be unfair of me to fight 81s while I'm coaching, because it takes so much of your time and energy to diet down to the weight category. At 90 kilos, Scotland have got some really good guys, and I didn't want to take a place away from any of those. And at 100 kilos, we potentially have a spare place for the Commonwealth Games. So it's starting to look like I might be in the team at 100 kilos. And yeah, it's brilliant to be able to start building a legacy of judo in Glasgow. You know, we've had this event this year. It'll be the women's turn next year, and hopefully crowds turn out in droves again like they have done, then the Commonwealth Games, then the European Championships. And if we can start to create something in Glasgow and in Scotland that can build year on year, then by the time we get to European Championships 2015, I'd hope to see a stadium like this filled to the rafters. It is quite strange to have your wife at the tournament with you, and even stranger when you're at home, because we drove here from the hotel this morning, you know. So it's just slightly different to a normal tournament, what you'd be expecting in a normal tournament. But I suppose by this time next year, if I do make the Scottish team for the Commonwealth Games, and if Gemma makes the English team for the Commie Games, we'll be on different camps. But we would be fighting the same day. But I'm sure we'll be supporting each other, even if the run into the tournament might be a little bit fractious, I suppose.
That's it from Glasgow. What a tournament it's been. With Pace's gold and a thrilling under 90 kilogram final, Scotland got a taste of top-level judo at its spectacular best. For Britain, it wasn't all smooth sailing, as Sherrington and Goszewski suffered defeat. But at 90 kilograms, there was plenty to cheer about, as McIntosh and Percy did the double for GB. Oates showed what a class act he is. And Burton showed the big men how it's done. Can he really win Commonwealth gold next year?